If you're dealing with a pathologically narcissistic personality type, then know that you are dealing with someone that is allergic to the truth. And this is because pathological narcissists live in an alternate dimension. And you could be standing right beside the person, but understand that they exist in an alternate dimension. They do not think like you. And you know that narcissist people do not think like you because pathological narcissism is an ego-based disorder. So narcissists believe they are their ego. That's the disorder. Narcissists believe they are their ego, and the ego is a mind-made construct. Narcissists believe they are the mind. And if you're wondering why that sentence doesn't make sense, well, it doesn't, because pathological narcissism is a type of functional lunacy. It is not supposed to make sense. You're dealing with people with a severe type of arrested development. You are not the mind. The mind is a tool, but pathological narcissists believe that they are the mind, so they identified with the tool. That's the disorder. The captain abandoned the ship. The driver is in the back seat. And this is why up is down and left is right, because you are not your ego. You have an ego. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience, and you have access to tools. You have access to the psyche. The psyche has your tools. That's your mind power, your willpower, and your emotions. People, you are spirit. You are source. You are life. You are chi. You are prana. You are the captain on the ship. But if you're dealing with a pathologically narcissistic personality type people, the captain abandoned the ship. They believe they are their ego. You cannot get truth from an ego. An ego cannot self-reflect. An ego is a false self. So understand that when you are dealing with a pathologically narcissistic personality type, you're dealing with someone that creates reality as they go along to serve them. That's the disorder. And they can't create reality as they go along to serve them, because that is what the mind does. The mind generates another thought, and another thought, and another thought, and another mask, and another mask, and another mask. And that's why you can't know a narcissist. There's no one to know. They don't exist. You are interacting with an ego. The ego is a false self. That's the disorder. There's no one there to know. Because what pathological narcissists do is they mirror your personality back to you. And that is what they do in the love bomb. It's a type of glamour magic. It is sorcery. And pathological narcissists, however conscious or unconscious, are sorcerers. And sorcerers, simply put, are people that use their powers for evil. And this is why I state oftentimes on the channel that if you're dealing with a narcissist, you're dealing with someone that is operated by an evil spirit. And an evil spirit uses the mind for evil. They're going to abuse you. They're going to play mind games with you. And that's what an evil spirit does with the mind. They're evil. They do things that are against the living. You can't grow with a narcissist. You're stuck in a destructive state. So know that an evil spirit will use the mind for evil. An evil spirit will use the emotions for evil. So narcissists will emotionally manipulate you. They will gaslight you. They will triangulate you. Because that is what an evil spirit would use the emotions to do. And an evil spirit will use their will to break your will. That is what you are dealing with, people. That is the disorder. So understand that if you are dealing with a pathologically narcissistic personality type, you're dealing with someone that is rooted in their shame. So they have pathologically low self-esteem. Self-esteem that is running on 1%. That's the disorder. It's pathological. And they run from their shame. They don't address what is causing their self-esteem. Again, they cannot address it. They don't have a self to self-reflect. So you're dealing with someone that is rooted in shame. And they run from their shame and they get to pride. And the pride here is dysfunctional. The pride here is not confidence. The pride here is grandiosity. It is egomania. So you're dealing with someone that believes they're perfect, and well, perfect people don't need to change. And if you don't go up on the consciousness ladder, you go down. So pathological narcissists fall right back down to shame to go through another shame pride cycle. That's all she wrote. They're not that deep. And when you truly understand what you are dealing with, people, your healing is going to be so much faster and so much easier. Because you are dealing with a functional lunatic. There is nothing that you could have done to save that relationship. The Titanic must go down. You cannot grow with someone that doesn't have a self. You need a self to self-reflect. Pathological narcissists cannot self-reflect, so they cannot grow. Since they cannot grow, they regress. They get worse with time. That's the disorder. They age like milk. They don't age like wine. The ego cannot self-reflect because the ego is a false self. What narcissists have to give is a false self. They are stuck in their lower ego development, stuck in their terrible twos to about 12 years old. People, that is psycho-spiritual arrested development. So know that you cannot get truth from a pathological narcissist because they do not have truth to give. You will not find truth or love or kindness or compassion at the bottom of the consciousness ladder. It does not exist. What you'll find at the bottom of the consciousness ladder are victims and abusers. You'll see masters and slaves. You'll see trolls. You'll see vampires. You'll see serial cheaters. You'll see lies, you will see conniving, you will see chaos, and you will see drama. That is what you're going to get from a pathological narcissist because that is what they have to give. If you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. If you squeeze a grape, you will get grape juice. And if you squeeze a pathological narcissist, what you're going to get are various types of abuse, neglect, and manipulation. Because that is what you get from someone that is stuck at that level of consciousness. You do not operate in the same dimension that pathological narcissists exist. Narcissists are stuck in time, unable to evolve, unable to ascend because they abandon their light, they abandon spirit, they abandon source. And if you abandon yourself, you cannot self-reflect. In order to grow, we must self-reflect. Narcissists don't have a self. A self didn't develop. What developed was an ego. And what is the ego? The ego is a mind-made construct. You cannot know a narcissist and a narcissist cannot get to know you. They don't exist.